Hello, I am Dr. Leong, a chest physician. Today I'm giving a talk on tobacco and e-cigarettes. Nicotine is the drug in tobacco that causes addiction. However, it is the tobacco smoke and the 4,000 odd chemicals it contains which causes ill health and not the nicotine itself. A survey was conducted by the Institute of Public Health, Ministry of Health in 2016. The key findings were 1. Prevalence of current cigarette smokers among adolescents aged 10 to 19 years was 11.7%. 2. Prevalence of current cigarette smokers among adolescents aged 13 to 15, that is Form 2 to Form 4, was 14.8%. Number 3. 78.7% of ever cigarette smokers tried their first cigarette before the age of 14. Nicotine in the central nervous system reward circuits. When smoked, nicotine enters the body. It is distributed quickly through the bloodstream and can cross the blood-brain barrier. On average, it takes about 7 seconds for the substance to reach the brain when inhaled. Nicotine reaches the brainstem ventral tegmental area and stimulates the release of dopamine in the nucleus accumbens, giving rise to the smoke-related pleasant sensation. Nicotine causes the release of many neurotransmitters, resulting in numerous neurochemical effects. Dopamine release in the reward circuits of the brain is responsible for the pleasurable effects which result in nicotine addiction. Nicotine activates reward pathways, the circuitry within the brain that regulates pleasure and euphoria. In nicotine addiction, we need to understand that nicotine is a powerful positive reinforcer of an action which is rewarding. This gives rise to craving, often associated with environmental cues or social events. Without the nicotine, withdrawal symptoms surface. Nicotine causes downregulation of the production of dopamine and other stimulatory neurotransmitters. In addition, the sensitivity of nicotinic acetylcholine receptors decreases. To compensate for this, the brain upregulates the number of nicotinic receptors. The net effect is an increase in reward pathway sensitivity. This neuronal brain alteration persists for months after quitting. During quit attempts, the receptors stop getting the nicotine they need, and the quitter experiences cravings. However, due to an increase in reward pathway sensitivity, nicotine withdrawal is relatively mild compared to alcohol or heroin withdrawal. Nicotine has physically addictive properties. The physical and psychological rewards of smoking reinforce repeat behavior. However, the direct pharmacologic effects of nicotine is not sufficient to explain nicotine dependence. Social cues or triggers enhance the reinforcing effects of nicotine and maintain smoking behavior. Places like pubs, karaoke lounges act as triggers for smoking. The consumption of tea, coffee, alcohol, and food also triggers smoking. Smoking commonly occurs during phone calls or while driving. The smoking urge also increases during periods of stress and boredom. The urge to smoke also increases during periods of intense concentration at work. Tolerance to smoking will develop to a different extent for each smoker. When tolerance occurs, the pleasurable effects or positive rewards of smoking are diminished, and the smoker will increase the number of cigarettes smoked to achieve the same level of satisfaction. However, the reason to smoke more is to prevent withdrawal symptoms from occurring rather than a result of tolerance. Blood nicotine level. One cigarette will yield about 1 milligram of absorbed nicotine. The elimination half-life of nicotine is about 2 hours. Here in the graph, you see a person smoking 1 cigarette per hour, trying to maintain the blood nicotine level from falling to below a certain level where the withdrawal symptoms will result. Smokers maintain steady nicotine blood level to achieve maximal stimulation and to avoid withdrawal symptoms. Smokers regulate nicotine by the number of cigarettes they take. When smokers wish to achieve a stimulating effect, they take short, quick puffs, which produces a low level of blood nicotine. This stimulates nerve transmission. At low doses, nicotine enhances the action of norepinephrine and dopamine in the brain, causing psychostimulation. When smokers wish to relax, they take deep puffs, which produce a high level of blood nicotine. This depresses nerve transmission, producing a mild sedative effect. At higher doses, nicotine enhances the effect of serotonin, producing a calming, pain-killing effect. Nicotine is unique as its profile changes from stimulation to sedation with increasing use. Filters do not remove all the bad chemicals in cigarette smoke. Filtered smoke is gentler on the throat, making it easier for bigger and deeper puffs. Filters only remove the largest tar particles, letting through smaller tar particles that can travel deep into the lungs to cause damage. Nicotine is the drug in tobacco that causes addiction. Tobacco smoke has 3,000 chemicals which can cause health problems. Tobacco dependence is a chronic disease that often requires repeated interventions and multiple attempts to quit. Diseases caused by smoking. The top 3 smoke-related causes of death are number 1, lung cancer, number 2, ischemic heart disease, and number 3, COPD or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Smoking causes various types of cancers. It can be in the lung, can be in the oropharynx, esophagus, pancreas, bladder, blood, larynx, stomach, or kidney. Here are some examples of lung cancer, mouth cancer, and bladder cancer. Lung cancer risk increases greatly in all smokers, whether the person has stopped smoking, is a current smoker, or a heavy smoker. For example, a never smoker for male is 0.2% and female 0.4%. For former smokers or ex-smokers, it is much higher. Male is 5.5%, female is 2.6%. For those current smokers, male 15.9% and female 9.5%. And for heavy smokers, the male is 24.4% and females 18.5%. Smoking can cause heart attacks and strokes. In the lungs, it also causes chronic bronchitis and pneumonia. E-cigarettes. E-cigarettes comes in various forms. There are e-cigarettes, e-hookah, mods, vape pens, vapes, tank systems. They are all under the name of electronic nicotine delivery systems. ENDS. Here is a picture of some of the e-cigarettes. They come in various forms, shapes, and sizes. This is a picture showing the parts of an electronic cigarette. There is a mouthpiece, a cartridge or tank which holds the liquid juice, a heating element or atomizer which heats the juice to make it a vapor, a microprocessor. Many devices have a switch to activate the heating element. There is a battery. Some devices have a light-emitting diode on the end to stimulate the glow of a burning cigarette. An e-cigarette aerosol contains nicotine, ultrafine particles that can be inhaled deep into the lungs, flavoring such as diacetyl, a chemical linked to a serious lung disease, volatile organic compounds, cancer-causing chemicals, and heavy metals such as nickel, tin, and lead. Health effects of e-cigarettes. The addictive effects of nicotine pose a health danger to pregnant women and babies. The addictive effects of nicotine also harm adolescent brain development, resulting in psychiatric disorders, cognitive impairment, and attention deficit. The vape aerosol contains cancer-causing chemicals. There is also the danger of battery explosion and fire. E-cigarette use in 2016. Malaysian adolescents aged 10 to 19 years old. The prevalence of current e-cigarette vape users aged 10 to 19 years was 9.1%. The prevalence of current e-cigarette vape users aged 13 to 15 years, those in Form 2 to 4, was 11.3%. 46.5% of ever cigarette vape users tried their first e-cigarette vape before the age of 14 years. Prevalence of current dual users, e-cigarette, vape and cigarettes was 5.2%. E-cigarettes. There is a potential to benefit adult smokers who are not pregnant when used as a complete substitute for cigarettes and smoked tobacco products. E-cigarettes are not safe for youths, young adults, pregnant women, or adults who do not currently use tobacco products. The long-term studies on e-cigarette ill effects are still pending. Don't start e-cigarettes if you never smoked or used other tobacco products. Juuling. 1 joule pod is equivalent to 1 to 2 packets of cigarettes. Juuling is the most popular form of vaping. There are 5 flavors. The device is small and allows USB charging. The joule pod contains nicotine salt. Young people who use e-cigarettes may be more likely to go on to use regular cigarettes. Hookah is another form of smoking. It is known by its various names. How hookah works. The tobacco product is placed in a heating chamber where charcoal is the burning fuel. There is low oxygen concentration in the chamber, resulting in incomplete combustion of the tobacco product. This causes carbon monoxide formation. The gas mixture is breathed in after bubbling through water. This gas mixture is not healthy. Hookah and cigarette smoke carry the same health risks. A 1-hour hookah session is equivalent to 20 cigarette puffs. 1 cigarette can be puffed 20 times. Therefore, 1 hookah session is equivalent to 10 cigarettes smoked. Hookah has smoke from both tobacco and charcoal. Hookah smoke is therefore more unhealthy. Thank you for watching this short presentation on smoking. The parting message for everyone is not to smoke cigarettes. Do not even try or experiment with a single stick of cigarette because nicotine is very addictive. and will get you hooked to smoking. The same with vaping. The vape liquid contains nicotine and will also lead you to cigarette smoking as well. As you have seen, cigarettes cause premature death and many illnesses. If you want to be successful and healthy, do not smoke. Thank you.